Never had crusty hard rolls like they have in New Jersey.
Nope.
They look like it, they look like them, but you bite them and it's,
They're just soft.
yeah.
And I don't know whether it's the way they cook them. I guess probably because people prefer rolls, or soft rolls. I don't know. But even in New Jersey, they just weren't the same.
So, yeah, I remember you know, to bite them, you like used your molars and ripped it apart, and then it lasted quite a while because you had to get it all.
And you could break them into sections.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
When you cracked them open, and you could just
Put the butter on them.
yeah. Oh God,
And,
making me hungry. And we only have an hour and a half before the kids will be here.
what is the thing you remember most about Grandma Graham?
Fishing.
Fishing.
What do you?
I remember fishing also, but I remember hair nets and the flannel shirt and I think she wore dungarees or the jeans or whatever.
For fishing, it was.
And then the hip boots and red lipstick. She always had to have her lipstick on.
Oh yeah.
Always made up nice. Go out and catch a fish. And then come home and this was in Leadville, and come back and cook it on that coal wood burning stove. Oh man, she made really good fried fish on that wood burning stove.
She made wonderful cinnamon rolls
yeah,
too.
Yeah.
Now, how anybody can cook on a black stove?
No thermometer. I mean, no. And she'd do this, and she'd know how hot it was.
I remember her getting up before everybody else, starting the fire. And that stove's warm in the kitchen.
Yeah, clang, clang, clang.
Mm-hmm.
And the oil burner in the middle room.
Oh God, yeah. And then that little side room that just had a bed.
Yeah.
And the tin tub.
I don't remember the tin tub.
She had a tin tub in the bathroom.
I remember vaguely going to the outhouse, but by the time my memories are really formed, she'd had a bathroom. You know, she had a toilet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she did. I guess she was the only one that had a tin tub, which was probably very special, you know. But it was set in, and it looked like maybe something Grandpa would make, and it had been set into a frame, and
maybe I do remember it now that you're telling me that.
and you know, you had to look into the tub to see that it was tin, but that was something that was really special.
Yeah.
And the house is still there, you know. I was so tempted to knock on the door and ask whether or not they still had that stove. Because with the doing the house next door, you know, connecting them to make one, that what changes, because they probably had to get rid of the bathroom, for example, and I don't know. I just would have liked to have seen it again.
Yeah.
And then the front window.
Walk-in closet.
And the front window, and it was boarded up, and there was little knickknacks like on the
louvers.
Yeah, well, you know how a window is, and you know, you lift it up and down. Where I have my stainless.
Yeah.
Okay, and there were several little tchotchkes, and I can't remember what they were, But I always wondered how come they didn't take those off when they closed the front of that window. You know,
At her laugh.
Hmm?
I just always feel sad that my kids never heard her laugh because her laugh was so cool. She had such a good laugh.
yeah, it was a hearty laugh.
And Dad grumping out when she came to visit, him coming out and saying, "You have to be so damn happy in the morning."
Yeah, he was not a morning person.
No, he had to have his
cup of coffee.
cups of coffee.
I always had to get the bathroom after he finished. And by the time I got ready, he'd already finished his breakfast and was gone. And that was the way he wanted. He didn't want anybody to bother him.
Toast and peanut butter. And coffee. Toast, peanut butter, coffee.
I thank God every night that I had parents like we did, because our life, we may not have had a lot,
Oh, I don't remember ever wanting for anything.
but we always had enough to eat and a roof over our heads, and that was the reason that Dad didn't want to do anything against John's Manville on
his lungs.
He said they fed us and they clothed us and they kept a roof over our head. It wasn't them, it was him.
And I don't know for sure, but I kind of doubt that they knew or understood what was.
Oh, I don't think they were guilty of anything. John's Manville wasn't the only one that was doing asbestos.
No.
And I think probably, through Dad having them make the balls, that probably saved a lot of people's lives, because it was the floaty stuff that you could breathe in and stuff.
I'm not following you.
He used to be that a train would, bring the asbestos, but it would be the raw asbestos.
Just the rocks?
Yeah. And when they crushed up,
Dust went.
Yeah. All over it. And Dad said, why don't we just melt them and they won't fly all over, and we can get more in a boxcar or something like that. And
he thought about the marbles. He's the one that started the marbles.
That's what I was told. He had some really good ideas. He saved John's Manville a bunch of money, because he's always been very inventive. And if there was a problem, he would sit and ponder it and figure it out. And it's just common sense that if you have a thing that you're going to melt anyway, why not melt it first instead of having 12 cars of rocks when you can have that into little balls, and it carries more, has more weight, and you're going to end up melting it to make
do it on this end rather than that.
And then there were a couple of machines that
I know he made a couple. I know he made the bagger for the insulation.
Yeah. And then I don't know, like I said, Mom said that he, when you get up, you have to sign a disclosure that you
anything
can't.
you invent.
It's the company's. And he, according to whoever, saved John Manville, $1 million, which was a lot of money back then, just on things that labor costs or um, the bagger and stuff like that. But he just, I mean, he was even around the house if there was something that
Needed
yeah
fixing or doing or whatever.
right, that he
Figure
would
something out.
get in there and take care of it.
I liked it when he went out with a nail and came back with a stereo. He'd go through the nail. Do you need a nail? What are you going to trade me for it? And they'd trade him a screw, and he'd go to the next guy. I got a screw. What do you need? And come back with I think that's how he got his speakers for his
Probably
for his square dancing.
Yeah.
What a guy. And I always feel bad because I don't have that kind of memories about Mom.
Mom was always like a shadow in the back.
Yeah. And she was nice enough, but I remember she never came and saw my plays. I did one called House of Bernard Alba, and I put my makeup on, and I was supposed to be an older woman, old, and she walked past the bathroom, and I was, trying out the makeup, and I guess I don't know what the reaction was other than her coming and going, and leaving immediately. And then Dad, I guess, had to bring her down from wherever she went.
Yeah.
But she never came to any of my plays. That
She
always
was
bothered me.
sort of like Michael, reclusive.
Yeah.
She wasn't that way on Kenmore Road.
Mm-hmm.
That is the only time
That's what I remember is she,
that
them having parties and
square dancing and stuff like that. And that was probably the most
outgoing.
And
I remember when I think of her, I think of Dottie Chattel and Carol Tyrrell and Grace Modeleski. They had given Grace a hard time about how she treated her husband. And she one of the ladies adopted a baby. I can't remember what her name was. And Mom went and gave the baby her first bath.
Because the woman called and thought she'd done something wrong because the baby's hair was falling off.
What was her name? Can't think of it. But, Mom was involved, she would do ceramics with people or have tea. They get together and have tea and talk and visit. But I don't remember her. She was the nice lady. She was a nice lady.
She was home. And when we get off the bus and everything, if somebody needed something and their mother wasn't there, they would come to Mom.
Yeah. She was kind of Donna Reed.
Yeah,
Donna
Mother
Reed
knows.
Mom.
And sometimes I wonder, when you say that, whether or not she wanted to be like her, and maybe she felt, I don't ever think she had very much self-confidence.
Yeah. No,
And
I think she,
yeah, she didn't reach the level that she wanted to, and she considered that a failure. Now that's just
yeah.
my feeling on it. But Judy, D'Amico, Conrad, you know, every once I'll talk to her and we'll start talking about Mom. And Judy spent a lot of time at our house because her father was an alcoholic.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and she'd sneak out at night and come and
Hide out in her.
hide out at our place. Judy didn't have a very good childhood.
I remember the Harmatucks.
Mm-hmm.
That I think her name was Diane was my friend, but I think the mom's name was Diane too, although I'm not sure. But when Mr. Harmatuck went off the deep end, whatever he did, Mom was over there helping out, getting things straightened out for the Mrs. Harmatuck. You know, just being a listening ear and.
I don't think Mom knew how lucky she was. You know, marrying Dad.
Yeah, I think a lot of stuff happened during her childhood that affected her. I remember her once saying to me that that Grandpa Hogarth hugged me a lot more than he ever hugged her. When I was saying something about Grandpa Hogarth, you know, and she said, "Oh, he never hugged me like that." And I think he was very well. First of all, he was a farmer trying to make it as a sod buster, and but even so, you know, like they had a sleigh when she was a kid, and I know her mother took in visitors, people who needed a place to stay. They would pay grandma and stay at the house. And so grandma always worked. She sure was a different looking when she was in the middle of the Saskatchewan adventure.
Yeah, she
did when I knew her. Pictures of her, she was just so haggard and
hard life.
And then Grandpa, they all moved down, and as I remember the story, I don't remember that they lived with Uncle George and Aunt Myrtle until they got a place, and then they got divorced. And I seem to remember that Grandpa fell down on his marriage vows, or whatever you call them, you know. I don't think he played around all over the place, but I think he did.
Yeah, because he ended up marrying that lady.
Oh, he ended up marrying the floozy, pardon me, the person who was.
I don't think it lasted very long, but yeah.
And then, so where Grandma went after that with the kids?
The kids were pretty much.
Were they older by then?
Well, Mom had to be 17 or 18 because she had met the soldier guy.
16.
So
for Aunt Pauline, and then
the only one would be less would
be 14-ish.
And then Hilton probably 2 years younger than that. He was the baby. But I have no idea.
No problem.
Isn't that funny? I have no idea when they got divorced, where they how where the kids were sent. Whether they probably were with grandma, but what she did during that period, I have no idea.
And grandma undoubtedly got a job.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anything about.
The only jobs that I know that grandma had, besides working with Walton restaurant, was she worked at Climax, and the trucks. She was like in the, I don't know what you call it, the weight house.
Yeah,
they would drive
keeping records.
Yeah, keeping records and everything, and also working in the cleaners, and that was when Dad was in the service, and we
Was
lived
she
with
working at a candy store?
her. No, Mom.
Mom was working at the candy store when Dad was in the service.
And then before that, she worked at a doctor's office.
And did she have a boyfriend while Dad was in the service? You know what I'm saying?
Not sexually.
Not sleeping over.
Yeah. No.
But just somebody who was interested in her, I guess.
Yeah, Roy. Roy. R-O-Y. I don't remember his last name, but he's the one that owned the candy store. And I don't know why. I don't know what the
dynamics.
What caused it. But I must have said something positive, like, "Oh, gee, wish Roy were my daddy," kind of thing. And she asked me, she said, "Would you really like to have Roy for a daddy?" And I realized all of a sudden that meant my daddy wouldn't be around.
No.
Yeah.
Erase that.
Yeah, I changed that, So anyway, but there was just some intimation. They used, Grandma and Mom would go to the, what's the initials for the dances they used to have and everything.
Oh, the USO?
Yeah. And so Mom dressed really nice. The one dress that really got me was, it was a black silk dress, form-fitting, and there was a big flower here, and the stem went down. And I loved that dress. I wanted that dress so bad.
Mm-hmm.
Two things I wanted was the comforter and the dress.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, didn't get it. I can remember, her saying that she was going to go to the USO and dance. And I think Grandma went too, but I don't remember who took care of me. For a babysitter.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway.
It's interesting what gaps there are in our memories. You know what?
Well, it's, impression. What makes the biggest impression. But he would come over, like, he went hunting one time and shot a pheasant, and he knocked at the door and asked, if Grandma would cook it, because he'd never cooked, so, he spent the evening and everything, but other than a work relationship, I just had, as I said, it was just a feeling. I can't even describe it. Heck, I was only 5 years old. But that thing about wanting Roy to be my daddy, I think that's what.
Ding.
Yeah. Mm. Dad, I told you, came to Colorado for his, for leave,
Mhm.
and we were living behind the cleaners, and he would let me curl his hair with Mom's curlers, and I'd get shoes, and I'd be a shoe salesman. I mean, he just, it was just so neat to have him, and I don't think there was anything I could do to that man that he wouldn't have let me do to him. I remember those stupid curlers. Uh, and then I think he bought me a turtle. I don't know where I got the turtle, but I had a turtle, and somebody had painted on his back. You know, it's one of those.
Little green ones,
Yeah.
They give you whatever that disease is.
Well, we didn't know about that, and I would take that and play with. I lost the turtle. Never did find it. Just, Mom said, "Where's the turtle?" I said, "Oh, I don't know." She's looking under furniture. We never did find that turtle.
Probably was in turtle heaven through
Oh,
the
dear.
auspices of some neighborhood cat.
That or else Mom flushed it down the toilet because she wasn't too wild.
Mm.
Oh dear. And then I can remember the ice box and the Iceman coming in the big drip pan that all the ice would melt into, while it was trying to keep the refrigerator closed. And seeing them try to get that tray out and over to throw it out
Without
water.
getting water all awash in your kitchen.
Yes. Oh dear.
So then you moved when he came back from the service.
We were in New Jersey.
You were in New Jersey.
Yeah, we had gone back to New Jersey.
Now, where were you living there?
With Aunt
With Aunt Pauline.
Collings, yeah.
And then he got back from the service.
And
do you remember any change in him? Did he suffer at all from PTSD?
he wouldn't ever talk about it.
Yeah, I know he wouldn't ever talk about it, but
I don't remember. I remember him giving me his sweet potato, and then he had
which was a musical instrument.
black,
Sort
sort of like a flute thing.
Yeah, octave something or other is what the real name. Go ahead. Sorry. Doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, apparently it was, most sailors had them.
Yeah.
For some reason.
Yeah.
They were easy to carry around and everything. And he bought a model junk boat. And I can remember him putting it together.
A model what?
Junk. The Chinese boat.
Oh, junk?
Yeah.
Okay. The big
Sails
square
and
sails.
stuff. And how he worked on that. I don't know. Well, he must have shaken before. Yeah, he did.
He shook from childhood because of an
Yeah.
overdose of medicine he was given.
Yeah.
That was the other amazing thing about him, was his patience. And I remember him making that 3-masted sailboat rigger, the whatever you call them, and him having those threads and finally getting them through the holes in the posts of the.
Well, just who would think somebody who shook like that could do wood carving?
Yeah.
He just was an amazing person. And it was sad because he probably could have made it further in John's Manville. But Mother didn't like to socialize with
Hi-hats.
Because she had only a sixth grade education, and she was always afraid that someone would think that she was illiterate or stupid because she hadn't gone any further.
And she was so smart. She was just,
As I said, she didn't have any
no self-confidence, no self-esteem.
Can you tell what that clock says?
3:30?
Okay.
4:30. Yeah.
8:30. Wanted to check because I want to go to the bathroom before they show up.
I gotcha. When they say 4:30, do they mean 4:30 or?
Yeah, she said 4:35.
Okay, so they give you it.
Yeah. And it might even be shorter or longer depending upon this house thing. She said, I want a 4-bedroom house. And I said, I think you need a 6-bedroom.
Does Pat interact with Emery?
I don't think so. Lisa said that when they went back this last week, she got to spend the day with Stefan, which was great. But as far as holding Emery, that she only got to hold the baby about 45 minutes. So
Mama didn't want to let her go. First kid, usually that's par for the course.
yep. I mean, if it had been up to Stefan, I'm sure he would have wanted Emery to go with them, you know, but I think that I just think that the family, Nikki's family, is sort of overprotective on. I think she's got either a sister or an aunt who's taking care of Emery when Nikki is working, and Nikki usually works until 7:30 at night, so Stefan gets home about 3:30 and picks the baby up and takes care of her and everything until Nikki gets home.
That's nice. If he does his deal.
You'll have to ask Lisa. She's got some really cute,
Pictures.
they're not pictures, they're movies.
Oh,
And they, Stefan sends them to her, however you send them home to
yeah.
home. And they have one and she's laughing. And it is so funny, you know, you just want to laugh with her because
Yes.
she's having.
Oh, nothing better than a baby coo or laugh.
Yes. And she says, I think she says Dad now. And she goes, no. No. That was the most recent picture. Was her doing no.
I wonder how much so much easier to do that than to do that.
Parents only go like this. They don't go like this. But her little neck is starting to show. You know, she's growing to the point where instead of being like this, her little neck is starting. See, she
Now, are they living in Colorado Springs? Was that where?
no, they're living in Littleton.
Oh, okay.
Vicky's salon is in Littleton, and I don't know where. I think it takes about a half an hour for them to get home, so I'm not sure where in the area, you know, he's working. It's probably out on the outskirts, since
And what's he doing?
the last I heard was he was working for Lockheed and helping to build rockets to shoot up in the atmosphere. Because the first one they finished, it failed. Well, they said it didn't really fail, but you know, it came down when it wasn't supposed to. But they, you know, something went wrong, they'll find out what went wrong and correct it for the next one. But I don't know whether he has changed jobs with Lockheed. You'll have to ask Lisa, because just some of the things that she said made me think maybe he had switched jobs. Maybe he got a promotion. I don't know. Just,
And then Mickey, what does she do?
she's a hairdresser.
Dresser.
Yep.
You know where they got the name Emery?
Nope. But I can't remember what they were talking about. On television, I caught the name Emery.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it's a more recent.
A new thing.
Yeah,
Like,
like Lisa was when she was
or
born.
Kendra.
Yeah.
Nobody ever heard baby Kendra before until I named my baby Kendra, and everybody was naming their kids Kendra. Even the ones born before her.
It's funny how, and you notice it, especially like if you live in a 55 or older. We had 5 Barbaras. And, oh no, Bettys. And so they came in and we called Betty 1, Betty 2, 3, 4, and 5. Because, you know, so I come up to you and I said, have you seen Betty 3? And you'd automatically know who it was. And then, what's the name? When I was leaving, the people that were coming in were under a different name. I can't remember what it was. But like I said, it's like,
Rotating.
yeah, you know, it's, you see Lisa on television and you think, well, that's a pretty name, and you know, I'm going to name my child Lisa, and everybody's got the same idea,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Whatever's floating cosmically through the world is,
Mm-hmm.
it's like,
But it was,
Tiffany was not a name that was happening when I was, you know, growing up.
mm-hmm.
But then there became a million Tiffany's all of a sudden, and
Well, you look back, and girls in olden days were getting named after flowers or months.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You know, you didn't have any Patricia Marie or, you know, whatever, because now you're just making up a name. I
Mhm.
mean, and whether or not that's,
I think
I
never
think-
been said before.
yeah, I think it's probably something she's heard and it was unusual, and
She liked it.
I don't like the nickname.
Murray, M.
M. I don't like M. Don't ask me why.
I don't-
But that name is going to be hard for people to initiate a nickname that is,
Well, there's Emmy.
yeah, but it's like Sandy Beach. I can't. I would be,
Association things
yeah,
to remember.
you know, yeah.
Well, like there's no Judy anything.
But like, you named somebody Frank, and he would be Frankenfurter, or
Oh, okay.
you know, that if they want to bully somebody, they,
Judy Pooty.
yeah, exactly. And I don't think that, I don't know.
Well, that'll be good. They can make up a bully name.
M&M. There's a new M&M that came out. I can't remember what it is now. I think it's caramel.
No.
Does it have chocolate in it too?
Don't mess around with M&M. No, I've never had it because
okay.
there's, I'll go as far as peanut or almond M&Ms, but don't mess around with my Oreo cookie. Don't mess around with that.
I can remember how upset Dad was when they made the new
double
Oreo
stuff.
cookie that wouldn't dissolve. Oh, jeez. That broke his heart.
Don't make it better. It's not better. It's
and it's like Reese's peanut butter, and they're putting honey in it and caramel and just M&Ms are really in. From what I saw, I think M&Ms are in there too.
Ones.
Yeah,
they got malt and caramel and there's another one I can't think of. And it was like, leave them alone, man. They were just fine the way they were.
that's right.
Gotta make another buck.
Walmart's making their own candy bars.
Really?
Yes. And they're about half the price.
Are they any good?
They're not bad. They're not as sweet. In the nougat. That is really the only thing that I would say. I had one that was like a Milky Way. It had caramel in it and everything, but like I said, the nougat wasn't as fluffy or as sweet. And really, taste-wise, I would just as soon eat something less sweet, but it was so close to what the fattening one is.
No, I'm sorry. If I'm gonna eat a candy bar, I want all of the
fat.
all of the sugar and fat and whatever.
Yeah. Well, I'll have Bruce take care of it.